Hello, this is John Armwood on the Armwood Opinion channel here on YouTube. I haven't been around for a while. I've taken off a period of time. Excuse the truck that's passing by outside. I haven't been around for a while, and it's largely because the political season this winter was kind of heated in Georgia. And I decided to back up a little bit. I had no doubt that Warnocker would win against Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker was an idiot and a buffoon. I wasn't worried about the results, even though we had to go to a runoff. I knew we were going to win that one, so. I was also having some health issues, so I took off from doing a lot of things and ended up retiring from teaching in December. So I've been retired now in a few days, it'll be 2 months. It's hard for me to believe because it sure doesn't feel like 2 months. But that's the way things are. Now today, we're going to be talking about Florida Governor DeSantis. Ron DeSantis, who I'm going to start off saying right away is a stone cold, dumb racist. And yes, he went to Yale. Yes, he went to Harvard. And you can go to a good school and still be dumb. I had a friend who I'd known since she was a teenager who went to Harvard undergraduate school. And she was clueless about world history. Clueless. She even spent some time at Columbia Law School, but she was clueless. So for me saying DeSantis is a dumb racist, I mean every word of it. Believe me, I've known Ron DeSantis in my life. I grew up on Staten Island, New York. There were plenty of guys like him. There were plenty of guys like him. And, of course, they made me sick. And I see him, and I see them. This is what he said. He wanted to block an AP African American history course. He doesn't believe that you should study African American history because it'll make white people uncomfortable knowing what America has done to black people. And he said that there was no reason to study. There was nothing to study. The State Department of Education had already had the course approved and ready to go. He came out and said that the African American Studies course lacks educational value. Let me say that again. Ron DeSantis doesn't know a damn thing, and I don't use that language often, but he doesn't, about African American history, but says an AP course that was put together by experts in the field from all over the country says that it lacks educational value. DeSantis is taught 1 year in his life in high school, 1 year at a small private school. That's it. I'm taught, about 16 years, I guess. Oh. and the same background basically as his, undergraduate school, law school. And I guarantee I studied the philosophical implications of the law and policy a lot more than DeSantis, because he seems to not know it or understand it at all. He was offended by the idea that there were going to be lessons in queer theory. Intersectionality. Intersectionality is like if you're a female and say you're black, how those two things can work to injure you. And we know it does. If you're gay and a white female, it's a double whammy also. If you're Hispanic and you're a female, it's a double whammy. So that's intersectionality, but that's a little bit too heavy for Ron DeSantis to understand. And other tops. He called the lesson indoctrination, and Hatton's claiming it had a political agenda. In any lessons like this, you get both sides of this. He doesn't know that. I taught both sides of issues all the time. As liberal and as left, some people say as radical as I am. I was told recently by one of my former classmates in college that I haven't talked to since I was in college. And you're talking about 52 years ago, 50, saying her about 50 years ago, 73 or 50 years ago. Ooh, I was shocked. I didn't think I was radical back then. But then she went on to say there were a lot of other people that were radical too. So I thought I was in the middle. I saw myself as mainstream. Now, law school was different. They told me I was the most radical student they'd ever seen graduated at Emory. This is one of my professors. But they were not used to having a variety of thought at Emory. Just wasn't there. The College Board, which oversees the AP, and the College Board is the exam that you take, which determines, what college you're going to go to in large amount by the score and about you getting money. They debuted the official course on February 1st, the course that Ron DeSantis thinks has no educational value. He knows more than a College Board. At the time that it was released, it provoked debate over whether it had been watered down to mollify DeSantis and his conservative allies. They denied it. And once DeSantis made his comment last Saturday, the College Board said that, DeSantis had slandered them, which obviously he had. I mean, he's slandered anything to do with black people, to do with Hispanic people, to do with immigrants. Even though his grandmother came into the United States as an immigrant when she could not pass the qualifications because she couldn't read. His great-grandmother couldn't read. As far as I've heard, my great-grandmother could read. And she was born a slave. My grandmother, on both sides, could clearly read, especially on my father's side. Oh my goodness. She would correct your English in a minute. She was born in the 1880s, so I'm glad I went to Hunter. Because Harvard didn't have the programs that I wanted to study, like Africana Studies, only Hunter and Cornell. And I wasn't going to go up to the land of the hawk You know what I mean by the land of the hawk? The cold weather in Ithaca, New York. It's beautiful with all those caverns. I've been up there, but it's cold. In fact, I went up there to see an Africana Studies professor speak and writer, Ivan von Sertima, most famous for They Came Before Columbus, the African presence in America. And it was great to see him speak. It's right around 79. I went up there. So I think that it's very, very important that we understand who DeSantis is as he's making his run for the Republican nomination for the presidency. And we need to call his racism out on every opportunity that we have. He's dangerous. We already had Trump, who was a racist. Trump is nowhere near as smart as DeSantis. Even though DeSantis is not brilliant, Trump is really dumb. DeSantis is shrewd. And he gets away with stuff like Trump. Look how he got away with kidnapping those South Americans, getting them on a plane and sending them up to Martha's Vineyard while telling them they were going to go to the places where they needed to be to get their immigration status handled. I mean, he should be in jail. If I had done that, if you had done that, anybody of color had done that, they'd be in jail. And if you're a white person who didn't have money, like DeSantis behind him, he has huge wealthy donors behind him. If you hadn't been one of those people, you'd be in jail. Look at Trump. All the crimes he committed, even on audio tape, he's still not in jail. Anytime anybody says that America has equal justice under the law, laugh in their face. It's an obvious lie. It always has been. It's part of the American mythology. Anyway, I've said enough today. Remember, resistance is not futile. If Picard could resist the Borg, we can resist America. Anyway, have a good day. Hit the like button. Sign up for the channel. I will be doing more videos. I'm going to go to a weekly basis again. And have a good week. And hopefully, politically, things will get better. All right, now, take care.